Now let's go from the Alex Jones case, where things are not working the way they should, and pivot through someone who said they would get to discovery with big tech but didn't, into a case of someone who's going to get to discovery with big tech.
Somebody who keeps his word, and it's a great white pill moment as Rumble has sued Google. And I remember there was a bunch of the tech dirt and some of those other publications where all the little Silicon Valley fake tech legal people. And what I mean by fake, I mean they pretend to be independent and they're not. And they're like, oh, Rumble's not going to have any success here. This case is going to get dismissed. This is just more, alt-right garbage, blah, 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 blah. There are very serious lawyers involved in representing Rumble in this case. Very serious people backing the case. And they went in front of I think it was a liberal Democratic appointed judge.
It was a Barack judge. I mean, it's an
Obama
judge.
That judge said, well, go ahead.
Well, just so everybody refresh your memories, people, because this case is like a year and a half old now. I remember where I was when I did the original assessment of the case. At the time, I barely knew Chris. I knew of Rumble. I was ice fishing in the townships in winter before the last winter. Rumble sues Google, alleging antitrust violations and damages, massive damages to be determined. And the basis of the lawsuit, it's not even a political lawsuit at its core. Rumble is not suing Google on the basis of antitrust violations because they're politically biased or they're slanting or skewing results for political purposes. They're just doing it because Google owns YouTube, the biggest search engine on earth, owns the biggest video hosting platform on earth, and uses the results of the search from Google to siphon or cannibalize or just artificially direct traffic to YouTube results for Alphabet's aggregate benefit. And this cat videos type things. And so they were suing on antitrust violations, tying a bunch of theories of antitrust that Google uses its results to redirect traffic to its other entity, and they reap the benefits. And Rumble had some interesting methods of determining it, that Rumble would be the first one to post a video. And despite the fact that it was the first one to post it, or maybe even the only one, search results would direct to YouTube videos. So they sued. Antitrust violations and damages to be determined, but could be, in the billions, if not the tens of billions, because you figure if they've done this for 2 billion videos, each video is worth at least $1 in AdSense revenue. That's a big freaking lawsuit. Google moved to dismiss, but one thing they didn't do, they sort of did not move to dismiss the claim in its entirety. They sort of, for some reason, from the get-go, acknowledged that there might be some valid Sherman Act claim in it, but they made a motion to dismiss in separating the action, separating some of the claims so they could dismiss some and then maybe fight some limited claims. Then they made a motion at the same time to strike certain paragraphs, allegations, on the basis that they were, I suspect, redundant, because they certainly were not irrelevant.
Well, actually, it was a motion to strike to basically get rid of 80% of their theories. So they classified part of their motion to dismiss as that, and then they try to get at it another way by a motion to strike with the same objective, being to gut two of the big legal theories that Rumble is bringing against Google, violating our antitrust laws.
Okay, fantastic. No, actually, flesh that out a little more, because that's sort of an important detail.
It is. To go into it fully would require an antitrust lecture. So essentially, it's Google's using its power to screw its competitors. That's the short answer. And they have more than 70% market share. That usually meets antitrust requirements. I think at this point, depending on the market, it's as high as 95% in some markets. And they have basically been usurping aspects of, they've been using their control of Google's search algorithm to elevate arbitrarily and artificially YouTube at the expense of Rumble. And so, like, when you search, Rumble videos won't come up. YouTube videos will. Even if you went into each one's relative platform, you might find the Rumble one is much more popular on that particular topic or by that content creator than YouTube. This is scheming. This is using, and there's multiple technical ways that Google does this. So there's things called tying. There's other aspects of leveraging your market power to help one product against another product. Now, I think we need to expand our antitrust law and have an invite out to Matt Stoller, comes from the left, but a great antitrust advocate to do a sidebar with. Sometimes because he would be also good for explaining aspects of this. That our law should be more robust. But even under the existing law, they had nice, neat, clean claims. And what the judge did is the judge just rejected all of their arguments and said, nope, all motions to dismiss denied, all motions to strike denied. Discovery, here we come, which is going to be mighty interesting for Google.
And now, Robert, I mean, they're going to limit the discovery, but that they're going to limit it to that which is relevant and of interest for the general public.
But yeah, that covers all the big topics. I mean, because he didn't strike anything, discovery is relevant to every part of their claim, including their subclaims.
Well, that's it, to the algorithm. How do the results get populated? The question is this, Robert: is it not? They're going to make a motion that this be done under seal because it's going to reveal trade secrets, and if Rumble doesn't win, they can't have that out there. What are the odds that this is going to actually be accessible or viewable or readable to the public?
The parties will ultimately probably will be, because the parties will ultimately probably agree to a protective order that will limit initial disclosure of documents, but any document disclosed in court usually becomes part of public record. I don't think that will be put under seal, often can't be. And so limited aspects of trade secrets can stay under seal, but that will be about it. A lot of their other activities is not really trade secret material. And so what will happen is there'll probably be summary judgment motions brought down the road, and that will disclose a lot of the underlying information. And much of it will not be subject to sealing or trade protection. So there'll be two critical aspects to it. One, Rumble will know. Rumble will know what they're up to, and Rumble's the biggest competitor to YouTube. And that's very beneficial. It's also, I mean, like, we help craft Rumble's new proposed rules. And, you know, one of the concerns is Google leveraging their power at Google Play to try to limit, and Android, to limit Rumble's access to that platform. I can tell you that Google is not going to be likely to mess around with Rumble while they're facing this massive lawsuit for screwing around with Rumble. Now that it's moving into the discovery stage, and Rumble's going to know where the dirt is. So that will be very beneficial to Rumble's ability to meaningfully compete and try to fully prevent Google's and YouTube's algorithmic manipulation and monopoly in the YouTube's video space. And it may unravel it altogether. I mean, this is the biggest suit against Google in terms of what they're doing in censorship algorithmic manipulation that's pending in the country. And Rumble has the best case. And now they're going to get to go forward full blast into discovery. And they're going to get to depose people. They're going to know the secrets either way. And some of those secrets will not be trade secrets, that it'll just be dirt that they can publicly disclose as needed or necessary in the litigation and the legal file in terms of what's appropriate to be disclosed.